on, everybody? Welcome to thank God, the final episode here, season 6 on Isles Talk. Thank God this is the last one. I need a break. Gary's going to need a break after this one. It's the summertime. We've got our Mets, we got our Yankees. It's not time for the NFL training camps yet. It's just now the dead of summer, especially with the trade deadline, the draft and the free agency all done and over with. Gary, buddy, how
Whoa,
are you?
what's up? Happy Wednesday. We're back on the
Yeah.
air. Yay.
Ah,
Can you tell how happy
so
we are?
oh yes. So folks, just to let you know, this could be my final show ever on Isles Talk,
I
depending
am
how
not
this
taking
all
over.
goes. Yeah,
I am not taking
yeah.
over.
Depending how this night goes, yes. Ah, so yeah. Before we go any further, we normally have our disclaimer. Do not blame Gary. Okay. In this case, boys and girls, do not blame Gary yet.
I may be on for 2 more minutes.
There we go. Wait a minute. Here we go, Randy. Yeah. Do not blame Gary yet. Oh, no. He will never take you as a guest. Absolutely not. No.
No.
Gary's not that desperate. No.
No, you gotta
We
you
are
gotta
gonna.
seriously grease some palms for that one, pal.
Oh yeah, and before we continue, very good job on Locked On Islanders this morning,
Thanks,
bud.
guys.
Well done.
Thanks for the love. Appreciate that.
Got me here on. No. What I want you guys to do tonight, I want you to defend Gary tonight. I want you guys to defend Gary tonight. Okay.
No pressure, boys.
Absolutely no pressure. You guys can slam me all you want. That's fine. Just keep it clean. We do get some kids who watch this, so just be nice. As long as the comments are good, I'll put them all on here. This is going to be one of those
Yeah,
shows.
just make it PG, gentlemen and ladies.
PG-13. Give me PG-13.
Yeah, PG-13 is fine. That's fine.
Yeah, PG-13. Okay, so no. Joe and I wanted to throw Gary under the bus a little bit, but we're gonna do it kind of sort of nice way, but we're gonna use his own words against him.
Go on.
There we go. All right, see, we got one defendant here for you, Gary.
Yeah.
Gutter ball time. So, okay. Basically, what we're going to do, guys, we're going to cover the draft, the free agency, give our thoughts on, since it is July 9th, we'll give our thoughts so far, and we'll make a quick preview heading into season 7 here of Isles Talk, and we'll go from there. So, without blaming Gary yet. No adoption trade, my friend. You talked about this before.
Yep.
Listen, you and I were both following Noah for a while. You especially. And I did have a quick talk. And by the way, Joe is very well aware of the show. He was supposed to come on. He's got some issues at the store. But he is vouching for me on this one. So anything I say has already come out of Joe's mouth already, but
but it comes out in a different way out of his mouth than yours.
Oh yes, that much different. But having said that now, and we'll get into that a little bit later. The no adoption trade, bud.
Mm-hmm.
This is the second player who he wasn't close to collecting NHL hardware, but he was at least in the discussion. And it's another player now we lose because they wanted to go home. Give me your thoughts on honestly losing no adoption.
I as I kind of said on the show, I think this trade inevitably is equal. I don't think anybody's got an advantage on anybody. Yes, Noah is going back to Atlanta, Canada. He is going to be him and Cole Hudson are going to be a great pair for a long years to come. But you just can't have the season that he had, lackluster, disappointing, and expect to get a 250% increase on his salary. Just not going to happen, regardless of how the salary cap and everything else that goes with it is going to go into play. So I have no reason not to believe that everything was amicable. I don't think Darsh would be that kind of a person. I don't think Noah would be that kind of a person. So I'm sure everything went well. And if we got kids that were, we got 16 and 17 for him, in addition to Emil Heineman. And I like Heineman as a fourth line. People I've seen and listened to on the Montreal boards are really going to miss the kid, just like they're missing Alexander Romanov right now. So this is the second time we've taken somebody from Montreal that the Montreal media and fans are going to really miss. So I'm fine with that. And the fact that we got kids that were ranked much higher than where they were drafted, it's like falling down to us. Matt Barzal fell down to us. Noah Dobson, inevitably, when he was drafted, fell down to us. So I really think both sides are going to get it. But Noah got his money. Noah will be taken care of. He will be liked by Montreal. Good there. I think Atchison and Eklund are going to be potential players in this on this team coming down the road. You got Heineman filling in a good spot on the fourth line. So I'm happy with the trade. I think anybody got an advantage? I don't know. It's one of those ones where it's going to be a year before you're going to find out. But I'm not disappointed by the trade at all.
Okay. And this is where, and this time I'm just speaking for myself here. Joe's not involved because Joe and I really didn't talk about the Noah Dobson trade. I'm going to agree to disagree.
And that's quite all right. And that's quite all right.
Yeah. The moment the Islanders got that first overall pick, and you land Matthew Schaefer, a kid who could be ready in not this coming season, the following season. Okay. You give Noah Dobson $10 million. You give him the 10.5. Matthew Barzal is maybe 3 years away. Bo Horvat maybe has 3 years left. You finally have a defensive scoring pair that the Islanders have not seen since Adrian Aucoin and Roman Hamrlik. We've gone over the numbers during the season when the Islanders' defense rips everybody apart on the score sheet. The Islanders should have paid John Tavares $11 million. In hindsight, that could have been our Stanley Cup in the shortened season. And we'll get into the draft for a moment, but for right now, we basically gave Noah Dobson to the Montreal Canadiens, who we are supposed to be competing against for a wild card spot, bare minimum, I should say at most. I don't think we got enough for him. I like Heineman. Don't get me wrong. I like what Darsh is trying to do. And yes, we got more from Dobson than we did Tavares. But now what do we have? We're now down to the hopes, and let me emphasize hopes, of bringing in Cole Eiserman. And now everything else is going to rest on a 17-year-old kid. Yes, he wanted to go home. Darsh probably had his hands tied. I get all that. But I'm particularly frustrated when we get players who are, close to Hart trophies, who are at least mentioned in Norris trophies conversations. And the fact that Ilya Sorokin, for some godforsaken reason, is now brought up in trade rumors, who is a Vezina finalist, I have a serious issue with this. I wish Noah all the best. It was amicable. That's fine. He wanted to go home. Did we get a right-handed defenseman in return? Even a B-level prospect? Nope. Again, Heineman may surprise all of us. Heineman, excuse me. And I hope he does. Yeah, Michael, that's not my point. Yeah, we'll get into that in a minute, because I'm going to show you guys this, okay? Not re-signing Noah Dobson, we're no longer closer to this. We're now closer to this. We are much closer to this than we are to this.
I love his PowerPoint presentations.
I know you do. Good comeback.
Mm-hmm.
That's fine. But it's the fact that Sheriff Valley's still bringing it up. Why? Fair enough. Fair points. We'll take at least Stanley Cup we get. No, I get that. Yeah. Okay. That was good, Michael.
The only thing I'm going to add to this
is,
and I said it on the show last night, we're not done yet. This is July 9th.
Oh, that's true. That's our July 9th segment.
This is July 9th. Okay. I don't think we're done. So that's why, yes, based on the trade, Noah definitely wanted too much money. I don't think he's worth $11 million. I'm sorry, no matter what, despite that crap season he had. If he had 70 points last season, I may say 10. I don't say 11. He got 9 whatever from Montreal, but he wanted 11 and change here. And I do not think he's worth it. I'm sorry. He's not. He's not Cale Makar. He's nowhere close to Cale Makar. Okay.
No, but this is
that's like stocking Tesla. It took a nosedive. He took a nosedive this year. And no one can tell me different that he didn't. Anybody on here that says that Noah Dobson deserves $11 million is definitely smoking a little bit too much reefer, in my opinion. I'm sorry. I'll agree to disagree on that.
Putting him with Matthew Schaefer, though, in 2 years, you don't think he wouldn't have been worth $11 million?
I would have done show me. To me, he's in the same show me answer as Holmstrom is right now. He hasn't proved anything. He wasn't in the Norris. He was 4th, 5th, or 6th in the Norris. He's not $11 million caliber. I don't care. He hasn't done anything yet. If he was top 3, maybe last year, but he wasn't. He was 5, 6. That's not $11 million. Sorry, it's just not.
Okay. This is why the Islanders are going to be where they are.
I don't think so.
And yeah, Happy season finale, folks.
You're talking based on today. I don't want to talk based on today. I want to talk season 7, episode 1, when we do it in mid-August sometime, and we're seeing what happens.
Fair enough.
I don't think we're done yet. And based on this, I'm disappointed. I'm not happy of the trade. Okay, I still like Noah Dobson or whatever, but I just feel he set the bar for himself way too high. Way too high. And I'm usually one for letting these guys get as much as they can get. But to me, they have to deserve it. And I don't think he does. I don't think he deserves $9.75 million either. I really don't. Not for last season. If he signed last year for that amount and he had another 60-point season to back, 65-point season to back it up. Yep. Bring the truck in, and that's fine.
Fair enough.
No.
Okay. And Mark brings up a great point. Okay, we always talk about getting rid of players who don't want to be Islanders. Dobson didn't want to be here. Fair point.
That's what we hear too. Yep. Yeah. How many times have we said it?
Yeah.
You don't want to play for that jersey? See ya.
No, it's not one season. Yeah, we're gonna get into that too. Yeah, it's not one season.
Mike, stop drinking. Stop drinking, Mike.
It's not one season, Mike. It's not anymore. Sorry. Yeah, Lou thought Bo didn't deserve the money, and it is. What we're all going to find out, folks, is that this is now a players' league. These players are going to get paid far more than they probably should. And that's what it's going to take to keep every team competitive. It's going to be the future of the NHL. We'll all agree to disagree here on July 9th, and we're going to go along with that.
Hold on a second, Paul. I might just have to cut off a second.
Go ahead. Oh, what a shame. Yes. So, yeah, he'll be right back. But listen, let's get into the draft real quick. Okay. Again, Shane Malloy was going to come on here. He's had some.
Something was wrong on my internet connection, Paul. Sorry.
That's right. Yeah. No, we were just going into the NHL draft here, and we were just going to begin here. And Shane's schedule got mixed up with another schedule with ours. So my hope is that we can do a private interview with him, and then we're going to do his thoughts on the Islanders overall draft sometime on a separate YouTube video. I'll go first on this one, boys and girls. Like I said a couple of weeks ago, drafting Matthew Schaefer, God almighty, that was like, we knew he was number one going back in January, February, March. That was easy. It was boring. I told you that was boring. Okay, the moment the Islanders got the number one pick, okay, yes, it was Schaefer. What we were able to find out is that part 2 of the draft was, in fact, to trade with Chicago in order to draft James Higgins. If that did not work, part 3 of the draft was to trade with Utah to get James Higgins in a trade. If that didn't work, part 4 was supposed to trade with Nashville in order to get James Higgins through a trade. If that didn't work, the Islanders were actually trying to trade with Philadelphia at the number 6 spot to try to grab James Higgins, which inevitably it did not happen. I have a mixed review on this draft. Did the Islanders set out to do what they really wanted to do? No. It was close. Did they make the attempt? Yes. Many reports were out there. We can confirm that. That's okay. But it didn't happen. Having said that, strictly from a draft, taking what they had left and drafting, it was an A. It was a solid A. Okay. Schaefer was a foregone conclusion. Okay. Bringing in Eklund is a smart and safe move. Aitchison was another smart move as well with that number. And I'm going to put it to you like this, Islander fans. When a player is drafted by the New York Islanders in the first round, they end up playing, on average, 366 games. Okay? First rounders, 366 games for the Islanders. That's better than the NHL average of 200 by a long shot. When you're doing a draft, you want to try to get, 2, maybe 3 players in a draft to make it to the NHL. Do I think Matthew Schaefer is going to play 366 games in an Islanders uniform? Yes, I do. I think that's kind of easy as long as he bulks up a little bit. Do I think Eklund can play 366 games as an Islander with the right development? Yes, I think he can. I think he's got that tenacity. I think he's got the shot. I don't like the way folks have been sugarcoating, and I'm going to use that word for the rest of the show, about potential. He could be a potential top 6. Stop putting that kind of pressure on all of the prospects. It's the Achilles heel every time. He is at the bare minimum a bottom 6 player. Could he be more than that? Absolutely. Let the kid develop. If he develops properly, 366 is absolutely possible for Eklund. There's no doubt in my mind. Aitchison, going to take a little longer. I don't know if those offensive numbers are going to translate into the NHL, but if he works on his skating, if he works on his timing, I think we're all going to love that kid. Don't get me wrong. Do I think he can play 366 games? Longer project, but possibly. Even if he hit 200. Go ahead.
Can I ask you this about Aitchison? And again, the numbers, that's why I say the numbers intrigue me. When you get a kid that's on, especially on defense, that's pulling 60-something points and 26 goals, what is the reasoning you're saying it may not translate? That's what I think some people may want to know.
It's his size for right now. He's got all of the attributes. I believe he's 5'9", 5'8".
Aitchison?
I think so.
Aitchison?
Yeah.
No,
Aitchison. Oh, no, I'm sorry. I thought you were talking about Eklund.
No, Aitchison.
Oh, no.
He scored 26 goals this year for Barry.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I'm wondering, and you're not the first.
A lot of it's perimeter. A lot of it was from the perimeter. Okay. And they think if he can bring the puck in a little bit more and still score from that side.
Okay, that makes sense. I was just trying to understand what they're saying about it. Okay.
Oh, Eklund's 5'11". Okay,
point.
Good.
No, it's a fair point.
Good. Yeah, no, even Eklund at 5'11" is good. That's fine. I was thinking of Romano. I'm sorry. Eklund's going to be fine. He needs some work on. Aitchison just needs to work on his speed and his timing.
Okay.
I even love Prokhorov, guys. I even love Prokhorov.
He's a monster.
And that second round pick, average Islander, every second rounder drafted by the Islanders plays an average of 55 games. Do I think Prokhorov can play 55 games in the NHL as an Islander?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Without question.
Okay.
Anybody that did not see him at the combine, you missed something. I mean, at the scrimmage, you missed something because that kid showed every possible skill that he has, and he's got it all. I really do.
Yeah. Yeah. Prokhorov, so from a strictly drafting perspective, Darce did phenomenal. From third round down, folks, let them all develop. They're all going to take time.
I liked
Okay.
watching Burke Hood. Again, you only seeing a
Yes.
small sample size, but I see why they drafted him where they did. And again, a lot of goalies come out of that 5th, 6th, 7th round because they, again, as everybody knows, they take a long time to develop. But this
Right.
kid got a base point that I like. I liked his lateral movement. I liked the way he was squaring up to the shooters. Yes, that's good signs. And they really like him at the Vancouver Giants. So I think he's going to have a real good chance to play a major amount of games for them this year, and that'll be great. Again, you're talking 4 to 5, but that's okay. But I really love seeing those goalies that come out of the late rounds because they surprise you. It's kind of like the Tom Brady at 199 effect, you know.
Yeah. And yes, we do have a good goalie pool, if not one of the best. And again, I don't care what year, as long as I want the Islanders to continue that. I hate to say it, but that Ranger tradition of drafting goalies to help out Sorokin every year. The Rangers did it with Lundqvist, and what ended up happening is that they ended up trading some of their good backups for players who could help them now. That was my hope and theory with the Islanders progressing the way they have with the goalies. So I like the fact that we got a good goalie clinic going on right now. Now, having said that, and this is still my trepidation, Eklund, Aitchison, Prokhorov, you're still looking 3-4 years down the road. You're still looking that long before they make it to an Islander uniform. And that was the issue I had with Dobson, that Dobson trade. I wish they had thrown something else there, someone else there with a little bit more of a chance of an immediate help. While the quality is there, no doubt. Was the NHL, was that their first choices? No. Did they make good choices? Yeah. But this is now turning into a longer term project, which was designed to begin with. But, for me, if you're going to trade Dobson, a player now other than Heineman, I probably would have taken one pick and another player now to kind of help out. But Darce did a phenomenal job. He doesn't need my praise. He knows exactly what he's doing. But that was my thought on it. That was my thought on that. Gary, give me your thoughts if you have any finishing up on that draft. What'd you think?
No, I'm in complete agreement. He did a tremendous job. Again, liked watching Luca Romano. Again, a childhood friend of Matt Schaefer's, so they're glad to be on the same organization together.
Sure.
He is small. He is very small, but I like his elusiveness. He skates really well. Again, another project. But you know what? What have we been saying all along that we need? Even though they may not be in the actual pro pipeline yet, you're building your pipeline. You're building everything up.
Absolutely.
So I'm happy with that. Yes. I know some of the guys were saying in the commentary that, William Eklund went on a high trajectory,
Sure.
Could it be possible his brother does the same thing? Maybe. You don't know. I mean, we all don't know that, but I like the direction. I'm happy with the direction. And again, isn't it nice, folks, that, when you look at either ESPN or TSN or Sportsnet or Score or whatever, when they're ranking things, that we actually get ranked well. It's not usual that we get something positive come out of a move. or the draft. I mean, obviously, getting Matt's a no-brainer, and it makes us go up to that A category. But we did well with the other 6 picks we had, the other 8 picks we had, to make sure that grade came out as an A. So I'm happy.
And I'm gonna I also want to defend Darsh on this one. Not that he needs my defense anyway. But when the Islanders were trying to make those trades to grab Hagens, let's be honest, general managers can be cutthroat too. The other GMs knew exactly what the Islanders were trying to do. Did they stop the Islanders? Absolutely. Is that part of the business? Absolutely. They are competing against each other when they are at the draft. You are still trying to be the better team, even in that situation. So, having said that, have we cleared everything up with the draft? Are we good?
I think so.
Beautiful. NHL free agency.
Let's make one preface. Let's make one preface before we even start.
Let's do it.
This free agency
There we go.
Class absolutely blew. Okay. This one was a lousy list. Other than a couple of guys that there was no chance in hell with our cap situation that we were going to do anything about. So I just want to preface that.
Okay. Ready. No, this one. I know.
Yeah. Yeah, Randy's the president of your fan club.
Yeah, I know. All right.
All right, that's not all right. Let me take that right away. That's not true.
That.
I didn't say overall was lousy. I just said in comparison on a whole, on a full scale, it wasn't as good. Okay.
Right.
But if you watched the show last night with me and Gil Martin, you heard me say how much I love Drouin. Okay, a point a game guy over the last almost 100 games. He's got a reclamation project. This kid was one of those typical players that are a Quebecois that can't survive in Quebecois land. Getting out of Montreal was the best thing that ever happened to him. He got out. Tampa didn't work much better, but he got to Colorado. Yes, he's playing with some guy named McKinnon. I think he's a pretty decent hockey player. But that helped him improve and get his growth. Okay. But the caveat is, will he do that now outside? But you're looking at a power play right now that can't get any worse than it is. 13% last year. Okay. We sucked the pool big time.
Thank you, Mark.
Okay. Yes. Can't count on Drouin to stay healthy. You know what? But we look at this stuff based on a full season, everybody not hurt, blah, 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 blah. We all know that happens. Okay. I'm sure there are players that are coming to mind, but they're just not hitting my head right now.
Mm-hmm.
But if this power play, with the addition of Drouin and even Emil Heineman, because he played power play time in Montreal and did quite well. He was on PP2 for them. So those additions with a new power play focus, which we've had for now, the 7th time in 10 years or something like that. But let's just say, sake of argument, we improve our power play from 13% to, let's just say 20. That's pretty much the average, I believe, is 20%. Oh, you guys
keep going, Gary. Defend your Islanders. Go ahead.
Yeah,
keep going. Defend him.
Just go away. Go away. Go away. That's all right. I know Michael's family. We'll have a little private discussion.
No.
But let's just say the goal of the power play is to get up to 20%. I'm always going to be a half full guy anyway.
Absolutely.
Everybody knows that. So you know what? If you don't like it, too bad. 20% power play, 7% increase. Based on last year's numbers, we're talking about 14 goals. 14 goals, especially with a team like us that had a losing record in 1-goal games, could turn things around. And that's all I'm asking for, is to make our power play better. And you know what? If he does it in 14 games, if he does it in 50 games, I'll be happy. I don't care. If he plays 50, he plays 80. I'll take 65. Thank you very much. Yeah, it's typical. That's okay. This might be Paul's last show anyway. So he's going to end it off on a high note.
Last show.
He's going to end it off on a high note anyway. That's why Joe was too chicken. You know what to come. Forget about the stuff in his story.
I already called him. I already had some choice words for Joe. Wait a minute. There's Joe. There's Joe. Yeah.
The other one was good too. The other picture's good too, but that's
God, that was great. Okay, so listen. In small defense to Gary. He is correct. Okay. What Joe and I both agree upon is that everything that Gary just said will still only make up what the Islanders have lost last season. You're still looking at an 82 to 87 point season, and that you're praying, like everyone else in this chat room, you're hoping everyone stays healthy. In all honesty, folks, I don't know how old you are, but this reminds me of 2009. A couple of sexy names brought in. It ended up Rick DiPietro getting injured for basically most of the season, and the Islanders ended up winning the draft lottery. I think if there are major injuries moving forward with this team, the season could very well be over. And I'm not going to really bash Matthew Barzal here, but he's coming back off a knee injury. It takes players a little while to come back from a knee injury, and we've seen that.
But we've also seen the converse.
Right.
So we know whose cup is half full and whose cup is half empty.
Absolutely.
Because I'm banking on the shoulders being, chipped, if you will. That's what I'm banking on.
Of course.
Looking at all things.
But I'm also going to do this, fellas, and this is not on Gary either. Gary has got no control over this anyway. I still think you're only going to get 3 teams. Again, July 9th, you're still only going to get 3 teams coming out of the Metro for a playoff spot.
I agree. Again, we talked before off air. I agree with the same thing.
That is correct.
I said the same thing.
You're looking at Washington, you're looking at Carolina, and you're looking at New Jersey. New Jersey with injuries finished up with 90-something points.
91.
And I don't care where Carolina lands in the top 3. You can't beat Carolina right now in the first round. We have to continue that trend until someone actually beats them in the first round. I think we can all agree with that, and Carolina has at least earned that. And if this is indeed Alex Ovechkin's final season, look out.
And you look at the Atlantic Division, getting Gibson out of Anaheim is going to make Detroit much better. Detroit has had the goaltending has been their Achilles heel over the last 3 years. You have a strong John Gibson in net, they move up. Does that mean Montreal or Ottawa move down. Who knows? But I still think you're going to have 6 teams in the Atlantic Division that are probably going to be better than where the Islanders are going to sit. And that's the tough part of it. It's not that I don't think they're going to be better than that. Again, looking at it from, a standpoint of we don't know who's getting hurt.
Correct.
Yeah, team is
Correct.
the
July
team,
9th.
the team that ended on April 17th and the team that is playing now is better. Right now, I think is better. Still better. You got Barzal back healthy, regardless of what happens. Hopefully, Duclair has a better attitude. That gets better. You've got guys that are going to be improved. I really think that. But, there's those factors that come into play. But you're looking at the division. You're looking at the Flyers. You're looking at the Penguins and possibly the Rangers and Columbus. You're going to have a 5-way bucket to try to reach Jersey. That's going to be hard. The big panacea with this team is they were terrible in the division. Okay, we do better against the Rangers. We do better against Columbus. Again, what could that possibly mean? So I'm not saying, I'm not even going to say today, on a team making the playoffs, because like I said, we're not done yet. No one's done yet. No one's sitting back on their laurels and waiting for camp to start. But I think if we all stay healthy, we can compete and fight. And that's really what I'm coming out to. I know Paul's going to say they're still going to be out, but I think there's a chance of a fight. And you know what? You also
competitive.
have
Look, yeah,
you also have a coach that's also on a serious hot seat. We know that. It's not been said, but we know that. That Ross going to be on the hot seat. That he's got to produce. He's got to come out. He's got to come out the gates sprinting like a Belmont racehorse. Okay, and if he doesn't do that, then there's some serious problems, and we could be competing for that number 1 pick again.
Okay. So before Gary continues to jump the gun here, because he's jumping a couple of sections here real quick.
I got to get my good points in somehow.
Yeah, no, get them in. Defend your team, bro. Defend them. That's fine. Listen, I started coming up with a couple of nicknames here. Oh, by the way, and I forgot to do this at the beginning of the show. Listen, I want you to have fun here. I want you guys over the next 5 minutes, if you can, I want you to come up with a nickname for the Duclair, Pajot, and Holmstrom line. Do that for me. Come up with a nickname for the Duclair, Pajot, and Holmstrom line, if you could. Best comment. We'll let Gary pick the best comment on that one. Okay? Now, my Drouin, Horvat, and Palmieri, I'm calling them the old man line. They're all there. They're all close to injuries. They're all up there in that age. And everyone who thinks you're 27, 28, or 29, you're all old. So guess what? They're old. Okay? Michael, be nice. Okay? Now, for those of you asking me about Shabanov, okay, I've got Lee, Barzal, and Shabanov, also known as the turnover line. Okay? Look, PhD line. Gary, I'll let you do that. Oh, Robin's got a good one. Anyway, Lee, Barzal, and Shabanov, the turnover line. Because all you got to do is meet Barzal at the blue line. Okay. And in all honesty, if you've seen enough video, if you've seen enough, even a full game of Shabanov, he loves to play along the boards and then try to drive in.
He's not afraid.
No, he's not afraid. But he hasn't put on enough muscle yet. And all these defensemen have to do is find the right spot.
And he's got 15 less feet wide to deal with.
What's that?
He's got a smaller rink to deal with now.
Yeah,
He's not
and
going
he's
to be
got a
as
smaller ring.
elusive.
Right. But in all honesty, you're asking Shabanov to put in close to 17, 22 goals and roughly 40 to 50 points. Okay. At worst comes to worst, when that line turns over the puck, you're going to have Lee as that third defenseman, maybe to get back in time to help out on that D. Okay. I kind of like that PH line. Duclair,
PhD.
Pageau, and Holmstrom. I like the budget line. That was another good one.
Yeah, that's a good one.
The safety line, I'm all right with that. That's kind of like a safe, a safe line. I'll go along with that. But Joe and I came up, mostly me on this one, but then Joe came up with the spelling on it, and I love it. The Siplikov, Tzidikis, and Heineman. We're going to call them the reclamation line with a W. Okay? And I actually like this. I like this line of Siplikov, Tzidikis, and Heineman because you're kind of bringing back the identity line. You're bringing back an impact line that's been missing now for a couple of years. Wow. Wow. The reclamation line. But it kind of makes sense. And if you guys really think about it, that could be your next fourth line. That's going to be a fun line to watch, especially if they gel together. I like that line. And then you got Romanoff, D'Angelo, your Pellick, your Pullock, your Boquist, your Mayfield. Someone had asked about my thoughts on Matthew Schaefer. No. To be honest with you guys, I did watch the prospect game, kind of forced myself to. I normally don't watch prospect games. I don't watch free agency and whatnot. And actually, I'm not baiting you, Gary. This is not a bait, but I want you to give me your thoughts on the positives that you saw with Matthew Schaefer first.
No, I know you're not, I know you're not. So
Yeah, this one's not a bait because I saw your show this morning and I agree with everything you said. So I want you to repeat what you
yeah,
said.
I mean
about Matthew
he's going to do everything he can to make get himself a chance. As the number one, he should. He's working hard with Giordano and the guys up in the TO area, and I think he's got every chance to make it. Whether he does or not, I don't. I'm leaning on the no side. I mean, it would have to be a draft of, a camp of biblical proportion for him to do it. Because of the fact he only played 17, he needs to be the man. Obviously, I have no doubt in my mind he would be the captain of Team Canada at the World Juniors. He will probably be the captain in Erie this year, without question.
Right.
What I saw at camp, I was impressed. I mean,
Okay.
was it superstar quality? No, but I'm not looking at points on a score sheet of that. I'm looking for the ability to, if a mistake is made, if he can work back on it. If he back checks and comes back and tries to correct the mistake on the fly. There were a couple of situations where he did just that, and that's
Right.
what I was looking at. I was watching his feet. I was watching his turns, his lateral movements. I like what I saw. Is it
Right.
NHL ready? No.
Right.
No. But it's very, very good. I can
Right.
see why he stood out above everybody else. If Matt Schaefer played 60 games last year and scored, probably he was on a 1.25 pace, Probably would have scored 80 to 90 points. Would have played the entire Canadian Junior Tournament. Obviously, he's one now. He would have been one then. I could say there's a good chance he could be in October. But I don't think his growth is stunted. But I honestly think let him be the man before he comes up. Did they make the same mistake with Noah Dobson a couple of years ago? Yeah, I think they did. I really think they did. You've got kids that could be there. You could make Isaiah George the number 7, because to me, he's an old at that scrimmage. He's the old man, if you think about it, the way he's been progressing through his career. So you don't have to rush him. You don't have to rush Matt up. So, as much as I think that would be a great PR move and sell a ton of 48 jerseys, no. Let him tear the OHL apart. Let him tear the junior tournament apart. And if maybe, just maybe, he's done and they don't make the Memorial Cup, you can bring him to the AHL at the end of the season. Correct?
On a PTO.
Yeah, on a PTO. So let him finish it. Let him finish at the port. See, they like me, Paul.
I know they like you, but that was the point of the show. I wanted them to like you and hate me. And I will give Brian credit here. Yeah, part-time tutelage under Chara. There is a little bit.
Agreed.
It was the shortened seasons. They were the shortened seasons. Absolutely. But if we had a full season, I would have taken him 1 year in Bridgeport, even at that time, because Bridgeport wasn't that bad back then. Here's the thing that stood out for me. Everything Gary said, again, was correct. I loved the fact that Marshall Warren gently, and I emphasize gently, took Matthew Schaefer into the boards, and he flopped like a fish. Yes, he got up quickly, but at 6'4", 175, you don't have the muscle yet to take on a gentle hit from Marshall Warren. And Marshall Warren is your Long Island kid, boys and girls. Okay? That was not only a welcome to the Islanders, that was a welcome to Long Island. You're going to have to work your butt off to get here. That was that message. I love that.
And the booing that happened after that hit was like,
no, I would have stood up and applauded Marshall Warren. I loved that fact. Granted, I love the feel-good story.
He's going to be in Bridgeport this year, full year.
That's fine. Okay? But it's time to put the work in. You're a number 1 overall draft pick. It's time to put the work in.
Yeah.
One gentle hit from one of Long Island's own.
Yeah, and everybody's going to say, if he doesn't make the team, does it make him a bad pick? No. Not every number 1 pick is a surefire chance to make the NHL season 1 of his pro career. Right. So there's nothing wrong with it.
No.
I want to see 100 points in 65 games. He's capable of doing it. I think he was at 1.3, so 1.365. That's about 90 points. Can he go a little bit better than that? I think so. So, will I be disappointed and not disappointed? Disappointed he doesn't make it? No. I mean, if he does have the camp of his life and make the decision hard, yeah, that's tough. But I don't like that 9-game deal. I really don't, because that stunts you for the rest of the year if you get dropped to the OHL or get dropped to juniors or dropped to college. That hurts a player, to me, more than helps a player. It didn't necessarily hurt Noah that much when he went back, but I just don't like that. So if you're gonna, if he has the camp of his life, keep him. But if he doesn't, don't even worry about it. Just put him back Put him back to Erie and let him be the man.
And I hold, and again, this goes back to the Islanders repeating the same thing over and over again, which is rushing their prospects
Mm-hmm.
for a pretty penny. They don't have to do that anymore.
And I really don't think Matthew will.
No, that would be going against his, develop the prospects, build up the farm system first, and then going from there.
Just go back. Anybody that has access to it, just go back and look at the history of the Syracuse Crunch, and that'll tell you exactly what Matthew Darsh is as a going to be as a general manager.
Right.
Just go back and look at those prior years and look what happened to those guys that played on the Syracuse Crunch. They didn't win a lot, but they played well.
Right.
And we all know the product of their success.
Right.
Came right out of that war memorial in Syracuse.
Right. So Gary kind of jumped the gun there a little bit with our early season predictions. And look, everybody's right here. Did the Islanders, is there some hope for the Islanders? Sure. Is the season over? Absolutely not. It is July 9th. However, if you remember this little disclaimer, do not blame Gary yet. This is what I'm talking about. Okay? The first thing I would love to see, and let me know what you guys think. At the beginning of the season, we're going to find out, obviously, we already found out which players do not want to be New York Islanders. When the season starts, we're going to find out what players the Islanders don't want on their team. And there's a difference there. When can we blame Gary? Very good move. This is when we can blame Gary. And this is going to be very important for every Islander fan moving forward. Okay? Gary's rule of 20. You don't look at the standings until the first 20 games are completed. Now, to Gary's point of what he's been trying to say before, if this team comes out healthy, and there's even a shot of this team going out for a 95-point pace, a 97-point pace after 20 games of being healthy, and then all of a sudden they get injured, I don't mind another season of injuries and losing the way they did. I'm okay with losing as long as it's injury related, especially with the amount we had. If the Islanders have some cap space, call it $3 million to start the season, I would love to see the Islanders. They did this last year, but this is something that Florida does. It's something that Tampa has done in the past. It's some of these other teams that don't have a deep prospect pool ready yet, but they bring in players who were claimed off of waivers, and they just didn't have a roster spot for that team. It bridges the gap between playing in the NHL and bringing up a kid who may not yet be ready. If the Islanders can give themselves enough cap room to start the season, or let's say Varley's on long-term injured reserve. Let's just have fun with that. You now have enough room to bring in, the waiver wire itself. If there's a 2020, 2021, 2022 former draft prospect who just couldn't make the team because the team was full, I don't mind the Islanders claiming that person and pulling a Noah Dobson, bringing him into the system, especially if he fits the system. If you guys understand where I'm going with this, pull a Noah Dobson. Ease some of these forwards in. Ease any defenseman who could come in, if you guys know what I mean. That's why the Islanders are not rebuilding. The players are there in Bridgeport. You had 14 rookies playing in Bridgeport last year. There still needs to be another year of development for a lot of these kids, whether you like it or not. By leaving yourself the cap space, you can minimize the damage of a season like the Islanders did. So if you go by the rule of 20, and the Islanders are doing fairly well, 87, 90, 92, 95, whatever it is, and then all of a sudden injuries happen, we can still bow down to Gary. Okay? If the Islanders start with 82, 85, 77 point pace after 20 games, you're not looking at a 1-year fix, boys and girls.
He's right.
You're not looking at a 1-year fix. You're not looking at a 2-year fix. Welcome to the Iser plan. Because that's what you're in right now. You're in the Iser plan. Ha ha! That's where you're at, boys and girls. The Iser plan for right now is about this thing, not this one. The Islanders' first 20 games are going to show you what direction they're going in. You wanted a direction, now you're going to get it.
If they don't come out of that 20 positive, this is what I say.
Oh, there we go, baby. Yes. Yes. Oh, so close, and yet so far away. Yes. Yep. And what's that going to mean? The Islanders are going to get into a longer transition. We've been saying this for years now. The Islanders have been a team in transition. This team just got longer. That can got a little heavier to kick. This is what happens when you don't have a Brock Nelson to bring back. You don't have a Noah Dobson to bring back. And you really didn't replace them yet, with any immediate help. And believe me, any kind of a 90-point plus pace after 20 games, I will grovel. I will bow down. I will do.
You don't have to.
Whatever's needed for Gary here.
No, you don't have to. Because it's still a crapshoot. You know, I mean, it's just this team more than any team in years just needs to come out of the gate strong.
Correct.
We just haven't done it. You know, you look at the last 4 years, we've got a lousy home record in our building.
Yes.
We need to come out of that gate doing like the Mets are doing right now, and you know, in the National League, have a 700 winning percentage at home. You know, they've got to come out strong. They've got to make. Right. They got to return UBS to Fort Never Lose.
Right.
And if they come out of the gun like that, then I'll be happy. And I'll say if they're at 20 points at game 20, then you know there's something that's got to get shaken up.
Right.
No question about it. So.
And Robin, I'm going to answer this question for you. We're banking big on Tony D. 60 points from Tony D. He's never done it before. That's what you're going to need Tony D to make up here. Some of those points. Again, I don't know who that seventh defenseman's going to be. We don't know how this team's going to look in September. We don't know how it's going to look in October. We're accepting that now on July 9th. But as it's standing right now, you're looking at a career year must for Tony D.
Yep.
If the Isles are going under the Iser plan, you may as well trade Barzal and Sorokin. Well, first off, a defense to Yzerman. Yes, Detroit has missed the playoffs the last 7 years. Yzerman only got started during the 2019-2020. He's in year 5. This is where things should start picking up for Yzerman. This is that's a typical rebuild. So the Yzer plan has actually been working, but we're waiting for Detroit to take that next step. You can't trade Barzell because he's been injured all season long. And Sorokin, hey, that's what I was just complaining about before.
Yep.
But now, again, you've played Sorokin 60 games now for a couple of seasons. He's approaching 30. Okay? This team has to stay healthy if you're going to get Sorokin somewhere.
Don't ever talk Mets again.
Okay? This is a much longer road, Islander fans. And I will call myself a seasoned fan at this point. As far as Team USA goes, your Quinn Finleys, your Cole Yzermans, your
Cameron Birds,
Danny Nelsons, yeah. Okay? I will believe it when I see it. They are college players. They do not have to sign with the Islanders. Let me say that again. They do not have to sign with the Islanders. That was one of the reasons why they were trying to bring in James Higgins. That is why Boston picked up not only the best defenseman at number 7, but it's a lure for Cole Yzerman, which is why I didn't want to do this show with Cole Yzerman on the island last week. Ta-da. I hope he comes. Hey, look, I hope Camille Bednarik is a reason why Cole Yzerman comes and plays with his BU buddy here on the island. I hope Danny Nelson is a reason Cole Yzerman comes and plays on the island. I would love for the rest of Team USA to show up. But we've been disappointed quite a few times when it comes to players wanting to be Islanders.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? I will believe it when I see it.
And hopefully they got a good reason at camp and everything else to want to come.
What's up, bud?
I said hopefully they had a good enough development camp and everything else to want to come.
Sure.
Because most of it was their first time.
I hope that packed crowd. Yeah, I hope that packed crowd did something for them. I really do. I really do.
You know, having those last 6 years without this kind of a setting, you know, immediately after the draft.
I love Robin. I love Robin. I love it. World Junior Championships. We're yelling at each other. Yes, I can't wait. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah.
Sorry, finish.
No, that was it. I just
okay.
You know, just that we haven't had that camp, and I think it was such a great reception, and the people, and they were saying that practices were full.
Yes.
You had 1,000 people at practice.
Yes.
I mean, that's something, you know, and that's what we never even got into, you know, the situation with the potential of Bridgeport moving to Hamilton, Ontario.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, but I mean, with no disrespect to Brush or any of the people that do spend a lot of time going to Bridgeport and supporting a team, because they've got a great, solid base of fans, but they're just not getting the additional ones needed.
Right.
You take this Bridgeport team and put them in a building that's getting a better makeover than the Pig got in Uniondale, and having, you know, fans from Toronto that can't afford to, as I said on the show last night, can't afford to trade their firstborn male child for tickets for a Leafs game, or the ones that don't want to spend $200 and go see a 7th place team they're going to go and spend $25 and go to the old Cops Coliseum now. I think it's called TD something.
TD Coliseum.
TD Coliseum, right? And go see AHL. And
Right.
that barn's gonna, if they're back in the A, the barn's gonna get filled every single night. You know, it seats
Right.
17,000, but I think they're gonna make it like 10 for the A, and that's
Right.
gonna be full every single night. And that's the kind of crowd you want, because it'll get the players going harder. And again, more momentum, more this, more that. That will translate if they get the call to
Right.
come to the end.
Right.
So, you know, I
Hey,
know
Charles,
people will be disappointed, and I'll be disappointed too, about the fact that you know, that they're not going to be you know, they could be gone from Bridgeport. But then again, as I said on the show, bring Worcester down, turn the Bridgeport into an ECHL affiliate, and I think it'll be successful.
yeah, we'll see what happens.
Yep.
Charles, I am going to comment on this. I believe in the next collective bargaining agreement. I believe there's already something in place that it doesn't matter whether you're CHL or you're college. Once you are drafted by that team, you are there. I don't think we're going to see a lot of players move like after 4 years of college and they become an unrestricted free agent. I think those days are going to be over soon, unless the team releases them.
That's the Adam Fox rule.
Yes. Yes. I believe that's what's going to happen in the next one, but that's not that
won't happen this year.
College players before next season, who were drafted before this next collective bargaining agreement, I think they're going to have that right, but we'll see what happens.
Anyway, Paul, I'm gonna back off.
All right, bud. Thank you so much for coming on. Great season as
we'll,
always.
We'll talk during the week. We'll have a little conversation.
Nice knowing you, everybody.
Yeah. Have fun, guys.
All righty, bud. All righty, boys and girls. Final water cooler talk here of the season. Have at it. Do the Isles need Rangers permission to move to the Coliseum? I would assume so. I haven't even asked. Look, I've said this before. I'm just grateful to see the Coliseum still standing. Right around COVID or pre-COVID, there were rumors of that place being torn down for like a major cancer center. I think Hofstra was supposed to take it over. I don't know if anything's obviously it's changed, but the future of that of the Coliseum, I just don't know at this point. But I've been told before, traveling through New York City to get to Long Island by bus is not necessarily the greatest idea with AHL teams. It's the AHL. So, would have been a good idea, but I think the Rangers have some play in that. Yes, Randy. Very good. The new age is 19 for the AHL. That is correct. So if Matthew Schaefer has a phenomenal OHL season, career, whatever, Team Canada, whatnot, gets silver to the US, and he may just need a little more help, he can go to the American Hockey League next season, and I think that would be very beneficial. Bridgeport starting lineup. You know what? I've almost done it. You know what? Let me see. Do I have it here? Are you? No. Hold on. Did I actually waste my time and do that? I did. My first line as of right now, Alex Jeffries, Cal Ritchie, and Julian Gauthier on the first line. Ha! I like that line. Beckman, Berg, and Foodie on the second. Riley Piercy, Cam Thiesing, Matthew Maggio on the third line. Liukis, Veremiev, and Larson on the fourth. We don't know if McLean's going to get waived. We don't know the future of Gakcombe. I don't know what's going to happen with some of those guys. I don't mind that forward line at all. We also have all of those veterans coming back as well. Um, Chris Terry is back, so you could put Terry up there with Gautier and Foodie. There's a big, big bunch of veterans actually coming back to Bridgeport, where it could be full enough where you could send some of those prospects down to Worcester probably to get even more playing time. So, Cancer Center was built in the cheap lot at the southwest corner of the property. Okay, there we go. There's my answer. So I don't know what's going to happen with the Coliseum, guys. Do I see the development situation improving now in Bridgeport or Hamilton? How do you feel about those new customers being staffed? Listen, I I like everything so far. For me, that bridge between Lou and Darsh is Team USA. It's your Cole Isermans. It's your Danny Nelsons. It's your Quinn Finleys. Some of those college players that still need to come in. I still like Cam Berg. Okay, I like him on the a future fourth line to replace Casey Zizekas. I think if he can really get his game up, those college players are the bridge between Lou and Matthew Darsh. Okay, if those players can come in, I think I would be a little more optimistic and not say 3, 4, 5 years down the road. Okay, but I have to now because we've been through this. Players not wanting to be Islanders. Okay, so I really am again July 9th. I am at the I'll believe it when I see it moment, and if they do, I'll be much more optimistic. Still a soft team. Would like to add Kunin, but I know we are done up front. Wonder if we have an invite left, friend. Anthony, I can go along with that soft part to a degree. Again, it's July 9th. I don't think this team is complete. We got to see who the Islanders don't want on this team. We don't know if there's going to be trades. We don't know if players are going to get waived. We don't even know what we're going to do with Pierre involved. Okay, I haven't mentioned him yet. I don't know. And those are the honest answers. We don't know yet. It's July 9th. Mostly everyone's gone. And we normally don't do a show in July. We're done. So, this is a little bit of a bonus here. We just get to talk hockey for a little while longer. No, that got voted down. Yep, Sands is not doing it. No, and I don't think they will. And I really do appreciate that the vets are all coming back. Most of the vets are coming back. So there may have been something else to it, playing 14 rookies last year in Bridgeport. That may still have something to do with it. The injuries on the Islanders certainly played a part, but the veterans coming back, that's for me, that's a positive sign. Hey, Ryan, what's going on? Better late than never. What's up, buddy? Who is the new backup for Bridgeport? Who's going to be the backup for the Islanders? Let's get that question out of the way. I don't even know yet. It's July. Yeah, Gat comes on a one-way. That's fine, but you can still waive him. How do I feel? Oh, about the new coaching staff. Again, I will believe it when I see it. I'm at that point, Mark. Names, I don't care about names anymore. I need to see, production. I need to see something here. I need to see some signs of life. That's where I'm at. If they have the players that fit the system, beautiful. If the players don't fit the system, either they have to adapt their system a little bit to make things work or whatnot. But for me at this point, actions speak louder than words, and then action will show direction. And I think that's all what we're waiting for. And that's why we have the Gary rule of 2 coming out this season. Yes. Sands did back out. Starting to schedule events again. Good. Listen, I don't think they can do it anymore. and I'm pretty sure they can't because they took out the cooling system. Doing a preseason game at Nassau Coliseum would have been perfect, but I don't think they can do that anymore anyway. Do I think Varley is done? I don't know, but you know, the knee thing, it could be. You know, I haven't been told otherwise. I haven't really asked. Um, again, there are just times when you just got to sit back and watch. And we find out. We'll watch how he moves and everything else. They would sell out, but why can't they keep a team there? They had the Hamilton Bulldogs there at one point, but I guess the arena needed to be refurnished and they never did it. Like, I don't know. I hopefully now with the refurbished arena, people are going to stay, the team stay there. So I hope Hamilton works out for them, but there's no official word yet. So there's a no comment. So they're not denying it, but they haven't said yes to it either. He reminds me of Kavasha, boomer bust. I kind of go along with that. For me, the development for all of them is going to be key. 3 years minimum. Eklund maybe two, but 3 is a solid for me. And those kids, like I said, before the draft even got started, leave these kids alone. Don't even look at their numbers yet. A lot of them were very early 17s. They just turned 18, probably like right now or just after the draft. So let's see how they play this year, and we'll go from there. Yeah. The moves have been good. They've been good under the circumstances. There's no doubt, and I think that's why I keep saying good. Under the circumstances, Darsh did a phenomenal job. What is the feeling about Shabanov? Weight room. Weight room. Look, the height doesn't really bother me so much because he has the speed. He's got the perimeter game. Yes, he can penetrate. He does hang around the net. He's got some good playmaking ability. But God, have a pizza. Have 3. Hit that weight room. Get a burger from All American. Do something. Put some muscle on this kid, please. And please don't showboat. Please don't showboat. Oh my God, he'll get ran over. He's gonna be like a Prius getting hit by a Land Rover. You're just gonna pick him off the grill. The Land Rover won't even know he ran him over. Like, just please, creatine, protein powder, something for that kid. Add some more muscle to him, please. Yeah, he can be stashed in the AHL. Yeah, I thought the cooling system was gone. Yeah. Again, preseason game. What about an outdoor preseason game? Do it in the parking lot. Maybe. And I completely agree with this, Ryan, but 157 pounds? Come on, man. A little more protein on this kid. Please. I'll even take 170. Barely. 170, 175 preferably. Okay, something. What do the Leafs have now? Okay, it's Hamilton. Hamilton was supposed to have their own NHL team at one point, Mark. They were thinking about breaking up the Toronto fan base like we did with the Rangers. Same thing. Then we got a love triangle between Hamilton, Toronto, and Buffalo. Oh, imagine that. No. Hamilton, I think, would be in the other division now. Eastern Conference, but they'd be up there with Rochester. I think Syracuse is up there. Laval would be there. Sugar. Something else. But yeah, they wouldn't be in the same division. Yeah, I thought they're renovating it though, Robin. That's why there's a possible move up there. They're renovating that whole thing right now. It's looking brand spanking new. Yeah, they just spent millions renovating it. Yeah, no, I again, that's the line we had. I had Lee, Barzell, and Shabanov, better known as the turnover line. I again, Shabanov. We'll see what happens when he actually gets here. I love his speed. I love the overall game of his KHL game. That rink is a little smaller though in the NHL. Mm, okay, all it takes is one good timed hit around the blue line, and that's it. You take him out, then you can double team Barzell, and then you got Anders Lee as your third defenseman. But Shabanov wants top 6 minutes, so we'll see what happens there. Yep, 10 days, correct. I know he's not mad at me, folks. He's really not. He is tired. He honestly did have a long day. Yeah. It's been a long day for Gary. He took that one like a trooper. He did. Um, you know what, John? I don't think Ken Holland. I think that Noah Dobson. I think if Noah Dobson stayed, I I don't know if it would have played a part for Ken Holland to stay. Ken Holland definitely wanted to play. I'm sorry, he wanted to work closer to home. I think that's first and foremost. But I think knowing where the Islanders are now, with Dobson definitely wanting to leave, um, I don't think Holland would have taken it anyway. And again, me personally, I think LA's got a shot to beat Edmonton right now. I know you guys are ripping on Holland, but just went to the Stanley Cup Finals 2 years ago. He got through that Edmonton team with a really rough cap, and he still got that team to the Stanley Cup Finals. Edmonton still hasn't gotten their goaltender, and LA's loading up. LA's loading up like they're ready to make a cup run. All those older players, they don't have to do anything until the postseason. LA just has to pace themselves again. Granted, Vegas got better, but there's a lot of experience there with LA right now. So depending on which team they play first, maybe it is Edmonton in the first round. If Edmonton doesn't improve their goaltending, I think LA can take out Edmonton. So I'm not as down on Holland as everyone else is. I don't think at the moment, because of Dobson, I don't think Holland would have been a good fit. But if Dobson was staying, I probably would have considered Holland more. But he was on my list, to be honest with you. Maybe. Oh yeah, Theo, no doubt. But he was a truck. He ran at everybody. If Shabanov has even a little bit of an edge like Theo, I'll be excited to watch him. No doubt, no lie. I would love to see that. And we'll see what he does. I again with the speed that Shabanov and Barzell has. Again, depending on Barzell's knee, I would love to see them do a dump and chase. Have Shabanov run down to the wall. Matthew Barzell shoots a pass down. Make it look like an icing, but Shabanov's already there and beats the icing and goes for the drive. I think you can do that with that kind of speed. I would love to see that. Would love to see the farm team in Hamilton. Sure. The thing for me, folks, and again, I've been to quite a few Bridgeport games. Kylie already knows that. The thing that really outdid Bridgeport was the fact that they don't have a baseball team there anymore. There is literally a baseball stadium next to the arena, and they turned it into an amphitheater. There's nothing left in Bridgeport, like an attraction wise. Maybe a couple of concerts at most, but there's no baseball there. There used to be baseball right next to it. It was a popular hotspot. There's nothing there now except for Total Mortgage Arena. Bridgeport, that's more Bridgeport than it is the Islanders. It's tough getting fans there because there's no attraction other than Bridgeport, other than that arena. If there was baseball there, maybe they'd have a little bit more. No, I don't see him trading out of that disaster. I think Buffalo's going to be better this year, guys. I do. I think something's going to click in Buffalo, and look out. If they get on a winning streak, I think that winning streak could get them at least a wild card spot. And I'm all right with performance bonuses. That's fine. 3.5 million. If he does it, sure, why not? If he earns it, go for it. I hate you. That was so good. Am I hinting we are not done? It seems like the forward group is packed, so it would be to add a D. Oh, Bud, no, we are packed. I don't know. We're doing player roulette now until the beginning of the season. I just put out those names just for fun. I have no idea who's going to make it out of camp. Nobody. I don't know if we're going to do any trades. I don't know if we're going to claim anybody off waivers. I don't know if we're going to send anybody down, but there's a lot of depth to go around. Again, it's July 9th. Everyone's off except us right now. We're talking hockey. Holland does not do rebuilds. That's true, but I still don't think we are in a rebuild. Not yet. Sorokin to Oilers? God, I hope not. Then we are in a rebuild. Shut up, Mark. Kadri and Anderson from Calgary. Don't get Randy started. Why would you even do this to me, Robin? No. I'm trying to avoid Randy for like the rest of the summer now. This is not going to help. Victor Olofsson, Victor Olofsson would actually help out the Islanders power play. I wanted him a season ago. I don't know how well he did. But again, we're kind of close to the cap. We still got Siplikov to re-sign, and we got a bunch of players right now. Outdoor stadium in Bridgeport. Nice place to see a show in the summer. It is. It is. I'd rather see baseball there, though. Sorry. Yeah, the Bridgeport Bluefish. Yeah, that's what they were. So listen, all of you in the Drive for Five Booster Club, Islander fans galore. I believe it's August 23rd. We're all getting together. Eisenhower Park. Sometime in the morning. I think 7 to 7, whatever it is. We're all getting together. Big picnic. I don't have all the details. Hit the Drive for Five. I'm going to be there. Coming from PA, I'm probably going to leave at 5, 6 o'clock in the morning, and I'll get there, 7 o'clock. I'll help set up. I'm being forced by Michelle to show up. I will not be talking to Kylie. We'll probably yell at each other from one end of the yard to the other. I'm going to try to stay away from him as much as possible. But listen, let's get together. Let's talk hockey. Let's talk hockey's past. Let's talk hockey's future. Let's all get together. I know there's a fee to come in, but look, we're talking 12 hours of food, Islanders, drinks, whatever. I'm coming down, you come down. Would you play Romanov with Pullock or D'Angelo with the other pairing with Pellich? You know what? For now, I'm going to go Romanov. My goal is to see Pullock and Pellich play a healthy season. That's where I'm at. How many Islander players can actually be healthy this year? It really is. And all joking aside, it is really more about this at the moment. Not necessarily what's in the cup, but this is more of a watch and see season coming up. That first 20 games is going to be the big one, folks. You're finally going to see what kind of a direction this team is going to go in. Yeah. Yeah, let's do it, Matthew. Listen, I'm bringing my chair. We're bringing food. We're talking Islanders. We can talk Mets. We can talk whatever you want. Riley is not coming back. Riley signed in Carolina. No. We are not talking to each other. We are not talking to each other at that cookout. Forget it. Okay. Now, this is the only time I'm going to give him credit. He doesn't remember this, but Brian is an excellent cook. Okay. And I love food. I hate giving him credit, but this boy can cook. If you come for no other reason, come for the food. The food is going to be phenomenal. Okay. Come for the food. He knows it. I know it. Yes. The food is going to be good. The barbecue is going to be very good as well. I think Charlie's doing the barbecue as well. There's a fee somewhere. Hit the drive for 5. For those of you in the booster club, hit the booster club. It's going to be all over the place. If you're an Islander fan, just show up and pay. That's all I care about. I don't care what group you're from, but let's all get together, be civil. We can all yell at Brian while he's cooking. That's fine. That's fine. Brian and I are just going to yell at each other all day, and you're all going to laugh about it. That's fine. Hell no. We're not doing IHOP that night. Absolutely not. Not with the amount of food being there. Okay. And he's laughing because he knows. He knows there's going to be a ton of yelling between him and I. Might be cooking some fish, took me out. That's fine. That's fine. It's going to be decent. So, all right, listen, boys and girls, August 23rd. Here we go. I love Robin. Yeah, don't stop believing. Yeah. Listen, boys and girls, this has been a fun show. This has been an interesting season. Thank you so much for coming on. It's been a very good season 6. There will be a season 7 as of now. To be honest with you, I don't know when we're going to get started. Gary's going to egg me on. I'm not even going to lie. I'm not motivated in September. I don't watch preseason. I just don't. It's the same thing with the prospect games. I normally don't watch them. If we do start season 7, Joe will be back. Gary's going to egg me on. He's going to have to do something to get me. Yep. Thank you guys. No, it's been a great season for here at Isles Talk. You guys have been great. Yeah, Gary's bringing the popcorn and then some. But yeah, if you're on Long Island, come down August 23rd, Eisenhower Park. If you want all the info, it's on the Drive for 5. It's on the Booster Club. If you're an Islanders fan, just show up. Make sure you have money, pay up, and let's go. The future is bright, and we're going to leave it like this. The future is bright, but I will believe it when I see it. Okay? That's going to be the theme for next season. Gary's rule of 20 is in effect, boys and girls. Thank you for coming on. Don't forget to follow Isles Talk on X at Isles Talk. Please like and follow us on Facebook. And please, please, please hit the like for the show. Hit the like and subscribe button for the channel on YouTube. The numbers have been going up. It's been phenomenal. Hope to see everyone August 23rd. I don't know when we'll be back on the air. If we have a private show with Shane, we'll put that on the YouTube channel and we'll let you know. Okay? Thank you guys for coming on. See you for season 7. Let's go Islanders and have a great night.